Holy sweet fucking baby Jesus, Line 6, what have you done?
When there is no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth.
Yo guys and dolls, welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel. It's awesome. Yeah, we've got loads of stuff. You can come in, you can take a seat on my couch, crack a pipe, have a little bit of a pipe, or some chewing backy, or some, what was it called? Snoot. Sniff. Anyway, whatever type of tobacco you want, come on in and have a bit. Right, so Line 6 have blown me away once again. Well, you guys might have been completely aware of this product. I have not been aware of this product. What it is Line 6 have released a 3 amp bundle plug-in kind of thing. So it's saying it's powered by Helix technology, but it seems to be different to me. There's some other additional magic going on. So what it is it's a package, whether it be Doom, Thrash, or Modern. And you get 4 amps, different amps, and you get a couple of pre-effects, a couple of post-effects, and a couple of cabinets. Then you get a built-in capo, you get a built-in noise reduction thing, and you get a focus filter, which kind of tightens everything up. So we're going to have a little run through some of those with some of the selected amps. We're going to run through Modern today, but I will do the same kind of thing for Thrash and Doom at some point. But it's all much of a muchness. I just think Modern is by far the best bang for your buck because every amp is completely usable, whereas with Doom I found that there was a few I didn't really need or want. And Thrash is pretty good as well, to be true. So Thrash and Modern are about the best. Doom's a bit, if you're into that kind of Doom sound, maybe that's the best way to go. But it's very fuzzy and very overdriven and Sono kind of vibe. But the Modern is just bang on. It is absolutely perfection. And I would say that the models in here somehow are sounding better than my Helix currently. So the playthrough I'm going to do for you is going to be the same lick, which I don't know what it is yet. I'm going to put a drum loop in and just see what happens. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to play through some of the presets that I've currently been messing with. Now, bearing in mind, I built these presets in about 10 seconds, 15 seconds each. I just went, like, everything sounds good. It's like a great amp. If you plug it in, you can't make it sound shit. Everything you do it'll just sound great, no matter what you do. That kind of seems to be the case with these plugins. They just sound bloody brilliant. So anyway, yeah, well done Line 6. Again, like, absolutely blown my mind with this, because I've been using the Neural DSP stuff. So I've got the Soldano. I'll use that on the regular, really. But I'm using all my amps, really, for recording. But this is, like, I won't say it's a replacement for my amps, but it's so easy to use. There's no need for any additional outboard equipment. It's just plug and play. And it doesn't need to be run through a door. It is a standalone plugin. It's amazing, guys. It's definitely worth a check out. Anyway, let's get a guitar on, and we're going to just run through some of the presets that I've designed. And I'm just going to chug out a few notes, and see what you think. And then I'm going to run through, as I run through each amp, I'll then give you an in the mix vibe of what that amp actually sounds like. So there's a couple of crunch tunes, crunch tones, and I've done some big lead and big high gain tones, all using the internal amp models. I've not used any outboard effects or EQs. Everything you hear is from the Line 6 Modern pack. But guys, yeah, unbelievable. And as I'll introduce you to some of the stuff that's in the other packs as well, just briefly, but without any sounds. I'm just going to run through the Modern today. Anyway, let's go and do it. So let's start off with the PV Invective sound, which is a new amp for this plugin. It's not in the Helix yet. I'm hoping it's coming soon. I've got an Invective up there. I've got the Invective MH, the mini head, and I love it. It's such a tight, modern, high gain tone, and I think it's replicated very, very faithfully within this plugin. So let's get a guitar on, and we'll have a little wank around with some of those tones in that amp, and then we'll move through different amps. I'll give you a sound sample of each of the amps after I've finished having a little noodle. So let's go and do that. Yo, my 18,000 plus subscribers, you beautiful people out there, thank you very much for still being part of this channel. And welcome to the Vitriol, which is the 5150 replica, the PV Invective replica. I've made it a 5150 crunch tone at the minute, but it's whatever it is. Let's just introduce you to the UI first though, before we move into anything. So, great thing about this is you got this virtual capo. With fast tracking or a stable tracking. Just fast works for me, it's absolutely perfect. You've got noise gate with this dynamic kind of input, so you can kind of leave the threshold where it is or whatever, and then this will kind of snap in and snap out. It's sort of like an easy way of just getting it to marry up to where you need to be. The decay wherever that needs to be, and then you've got this focus filter. What happens with the focus? Just takes a bit of the low end off, a little bit of the top end, and just kind of focuses the sound. That is actually present on the amp. It's got like a tight switch, but this is available on all amps inside the plugin. And if you don't need any of that, you can just hide that away. You don't really need to see that all of the time, but we may as well have it in there anyway because we're here. Then you've got your amps. We have four. We've got the Archetype, the Rev Generator, the Vitriol, and then the Badonk. The Badonk being my personal favourite. I use that all the time, but we'll stick with the Vitriol for now, just because it's in the order of my presets. And then we've got cabinets. I'm running the Mandarin, which is an orange cab. You've got three speakers. You've got a room mic, you've got a room mic, and you've got a left and right mic, which you can pan. And then you've got this really, really good post EQ, which can do a lot for you. If you just need it to get, if you've got your sound perfect, but you need just that little bit more high end, I would come here and put it in this regard because it's just so good. Pre-effects in this particular plugin gives you a compressor, a Minotaur, which is kind of like a tube screamer with a bit more push, and then you get a caliper drive, which I think sounds very OD1X-y. It's quite a convincing drive pedal. Now, as you can see, I've got that engaged for this preset, but I'll take that off as I'm demoing through the amp tones. And then we've got the amp. Post effects, we've got a echo chorus, which you can totally get rid of the chorus by dropping the depth and the rate. And then you've got this kind of stereo delay, which is really, really good. And then this little hall reverb as well, which again is very, very tasty. So we'll have a little look at those as well. So currently, the amp tone just sounds like this. So just a crunchy tone. But I could kick that into the lead channel if I so desire. And then everything does what it says on the tin. So if you take the master volume, it'll take the level up, and it'll also affect the amount of saturation you get, and it's really, really handy. And then presence, depth, and all that good stuff. Then you've got pre-gain, which is kind of like your preamp gain, and your post-gain, which is your power amp gain. So I've got the power amp gain pretty much down in this respect. So that's the amp kind of amp tone. And then what I'll do is I'll just drop in that caliper drive. Which sounds awesome. The Minotaur by itself sounds like this. So you can see it's just adding a little bit of a push, but that can get pretty hairy. So really great crunch tone just with that and the pedal and the amp really. So that's kind of what I've got going on with the amp, with my effects. Cab is just really, really good. So I can, if I want, grab that mic and I can move it anywhere around the world. Really, really cool. And I can also solo out a mic. Until I've identified whereabouts I want it in my world. Then the room mic just gives you a really quick, almost like a quick reverb. And that can be set anywhere. And that's just going to give you a bit of room, a bit of air. That's really, really good. It'd be cool if we could integrate that into the Helix. So we have that left and right mic and a room mic as well. It'd be awesome. I'm suspecting it's going to come to Helix at some point. And then we've got that post EQ. And post effects, delay. So really nice sounding mic kind of echo sound, delay sound, and then we'll just add a little bit of that mod in there. So that's a really nice effect, and then we've got this whole reverb. So without it, quite dead. And then you can just add a bit of that and obviously mix and all that good stuff. We can get the decay to go through the roof. And you can also affect like the high court and the distance and the room and everything. All really, really cool. You get an A/B, so what I had before I started messing about was this. And now I've got this. So you can kind of figure out what you've done to your tone really before you commit to saving it. So this is my preset for that amp. And I dig, it sounds great, it's very crunchy, it's not really what this amp would be intended for, but it's good enough for me. Let's hear that in the mix. So now you've heard the invective with its crunchiness. Let's just smash it on high gain. So this is what that bad boy sounds like when you're in the proper... You've got that gain crunched up. have got this whisper quiet. I can hear my strings over the sound I'm getting, but it's monstrous. It's absolutely monstrous. Great tone. All I've done with there is I've just put it on the lead channel, I've boosted the pre-gain a little bit, presence and everything kind of much pretty much the same. Pre-effects, I have added the Minotaur this time and it's just pushing it a bit, kind of acting like a tube screamer. Cab this time is the Uberschall, such as Vintage 30. Pretty much the same ribbons, I think I've pushed the high a little bit on the EQ. Post effects, it's now got a little bit of delay in there and a little bit of whole reverb. So you get that band down, so that should be in stereo. If it's not in stereo, put your headphones on, man, it'll blow you away. It's really, really good. The quality of the digital effects is really, really good. And then let's roll that down a little bit and see how it takes to a different pickup with a little bit of volume. So you can hear that noise gate's a bit aggressive. We'll take that off. So that is that's the vital or the invective of the Vitriol, or the invective in its full high gain mode. So let's hear that in a mix. One of my personal favourites is the Archetype, which is one of the PRS amplifiers. Now I've also got a MT15, and this seems very, very similar to that. So the sound I've currently got on this is a big fat lead tone. But this has also got a clean channel on there, so if I kick that over to clean, I can it has got a clean preset on there. So you can kind of get those kind of tones as well, but that's not what we're about today. We're all about that big fat lead tone. Awesome sounding thing. Again, it keeps the same cabs, keeps the same post EQs, all the same effects really. Just messing about with the amps. So that's what the Archetype can do for you, so let's go and hear what that sounds like within a mix. Quite possibly the star of the show, even though I do love the Badonk, the Rev Generator. So you do get the red and the purple channels on this amp. You also get the 3 aggression stages, as you do with the actual real amp. It's blinding, it's really, really good. So I've set this up as like a thunky crunch. So it's got a lot of... It's kind of... let's just go back to... Preset back in so I haven't changed anything. So really, really good, fat sounding amp tone, super thunky, and like it's got a lot of like low end thump, but it's snap in there as well. But it maintains that clarity, and with this as well, it cleans up. And then the aggression, you can take them up. But even on the lowest aggression with the drive up, it's got some hair in it. So, ultimate usable. So let's hear what that sounds like in a mix now. So same riff. Let's just put the crunchy rev in there. Then we get to its big fat brother, which is the Rev Red channel. So this is red with the aggression on red, and it's just a tone. Just absolutely so much fun, and with the red channel you can still bring the aggression down. and just get a bit more of a crunchy kind of element to it, middle. Okay, really good, so good. And then let's go for that. Let's listen to that in the mix with a bunch of other instruments. So the Badonk, my favourite amp in the Helix and in Line 6's range. I'm playing Badonk back when Veta was about. The Badonk amp is just an absolute, it's just majestic. So this is what that sounds like. It's a machine, man. It is an absolute machine. Legend amp. So with that, obviously, I've got a little bit of hall, a little bit of delay in there. The amp by itself, if I just take those post effects out. Just so good. I could take that out. I think I've got a little bit of Minotaur in there, so we'll get rid of that. So good. Right, okay, so that's the amps that you get. There's a couple of presets in there which are quite fun. You get a default, and then you get all of these kind of built-in Line 6 kind of vibe. Which kind of give you a flavour. What you can achieve really, but I like to just start with a default and make it mine, and then you end up. I hope you agree. Sounds fucking badass. Right, okay, so that's it. That is our modern Line 6 plugin. I'm going to do the same kind of thing with the Thrash and the Doom next week and introduce you to all of that goodness. But it's just so good. It's so good. Thank you very much, Line 6. Hope to see some of, especially the Vitriol, which is a great amp. I'd like to see that in Helix coming soon. And also, I like this kind of dynamic LPF gear. I like the capo, the virtual capo. So just introduce you to that. So this is what it sounds like without. That's pretty convincing. Convincing enough for me. Right, okay, so that's your capo and all of that good stuff. Right, guys, we'll see you in the next one. I hope this wasn't too long. It kind of was. I just wanted to introduce you to this because these are brilliant. Even if you've got Helix, I think there's something about these amp models that's slightly more, I don't want to say alive, because the Helix stuff's really, really good. There's just something about these plugins that I really, really dig. There's a bit of magic in them. Anyway, take it easy, download the free trial, and have a little blast. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one for a look at Thrash and Doom. Take it easy. See you soon.